Alrighty, so the market is open and um, it's really boring. There wasn't much activity that happened yesterday. So I got picked up on. Let me just clean up the view here a little bit. Um, I got picked up on the even major level, and then I got stopped out, and so the backup order kicked in, and yeah, as usual, the backup tends to work out better than the major level. It's about 50-50, I would say. Like one of these two usually works. And I got my 250 out of that because 250 from 925 is 34,175 instead of 250. So I was able to clear that big quarter. Nice win on the overnight. From last night all the way. Since the close yesterday, the Globex session was pretty much all blue or green, whatever you want to call it. And at 4 a.m., nice to have profit when all you're sleeping. This morning, it's just chopping around. This is the 9:30 candle, nice little doji 15-minute candle on the open, a fatter doji with a bigger body and a longer range. A bigger wick both directions on the next 15 minutes. So the market just really doesn't know what to do right now. And on the 15-minute, it's not as significant, but we're seeing some divergence here, some momentum breaking down. We were able to make a new high on the 15-minute chart here. Higher high, but lower high on the momentum RSI here. So I don't know why this thing doesn't mark it sometimes, but yeah, very imperfect indicator. Apparently, there's some news. Um, this is, I don't know. Very rarely do I get value out of trading. I feel like this is just a distraction to make people feel like they have some kind of an edge, usually, or maybe it's a trick kind of edge, like do the opposite of what this says because that seems to be more reliable. Anyway, I only look at this. I don't really pay attention to the news that much. I just pay attention to if there is news, then I know to be more careful because the market can be more slippery. But overall, with the quarter strategy that we run, not really that big of a not that big of an issue. I really want to see this 250 get hit and then it break down. So I'm hoping for something like a fake out where we see a rally, it goes into the 250 for me, and then stops everyone out. Do a little stop hunting, move the market lower again, down back to the 34,000 and maybe even lower depending on how the momentum is going. Zooming out a little bit, we're seeing so on the hourly, we're not really seeing that kind of that bearish divergence except off of this news, which doesn't really count. Um, you could argue if I really squint my eyes and try to force myself to see what I want to see, there is momentum dying down. There is, I guess, a high here, and if we make another high and then the higher high here with the lower momentum, I guess there's just not enough candles have been formed around this area on the hourly chart to really solidify a bearish divergence yet. Not yet. I'm not looking for a long necessarily when if it pulls back down to the 34,000. I kind of want to, but I kind of also don't want to, because there's just so much uncertainty right now, and usually when the market's consolidating, when it's done consolidating, um, let me phrase it like this: if there when the market is consolidating, usually it means it's in balance and there isn't going to be much price movement. But the longer it consolidates, usually the bigger the imbalance when it's done consolidating, which means the bigger the movement. And if I'm wrong about it going short and making new lows, then I'm just going to get blasted through on, even though it is the major level. It's so close to an area of consolidation right now. There isn't that much runway for me to get a big quarter out of it, so it's a little bit risky. I'm gonna watch and see what happens before I put another buy order here, and I want to see it really. Essentially, I mean, I put this alert up earlier as I saw this profit get picked up, but this new high is what's going to, like, I can even put it like uh, buy 34,000. So this new high is what is going to be my trigger to aim for a pullback, if it pulls back, to the 34,000 and maybe set up another 925 here. It's the same kind of idea as what I saw here. This candle right here, even though it was a news candle on this crazy day where it was just up and down, just wiping out everybody in both directions. It was still technically a new high. So for me, as a technical trader, I am going to look for buys at the corresponding major level and backup zone, which was 34,000, which got stopped out, but the 925, 33,925 worked out great. Same idea here. I'm going to repeat if it makes a new high by hitting this dotted line, by hitting my alert, then I'm going to play that same area again. I may want to do front run it a little bit, because if depending on how much of an uptrend it starts to look like, but the safer, better safe than sorry approach is to just wait for the pullback to the major level, and yeah, and that's it. So I don't think this is really in play until, like, for a while. I think the market's going to chop around above this area of support here. That was kind of a this swing high, previous area of resistance, kind of. I don't know. There's just a lot of activity bouncing around this range since January, right? We've just been in a really ugly, tight range on the Dow since January, and it's been tough. So I'm playing the range trading game, which is, you have to be a lot more cautious than just aggressive trend following. But that's the state of the markets right now. Last thing is I'm still waiting for this S&P trade to just figure out what it wants to do and hopefully hit my profit. Like, I'm fine with these types of longer term swing trades. I don't remember when I got into this trade. Probably it was definitely before this news. So it was on Monday. Been in this trade all week, not doing anything really. It's just chopping around inside of the profit, but I'm not going to mess with it. That's one of the lessons that I've learned is, less is more. Less is more.